It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top players in the entire country. He's a five-star and ranked in the top 10. He's also one of the highest commits in Gonzaga history as he comes in at number 2 right now. And that's Hunter Sallis. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
For sure. Well, kind of take us through how you're feeling. Obviously, it's been a couple of months now you commit. I'm sure it's kind of settled in a little bit, but let's walk us through how you're feeling right now.
Right now I'm feeling good. I've made all the All American team, so I've really been just feeling good. We just been working and then just working on things that I can apply right when I get to Gonzaga.
Now, we do know for Bulldog fans, the big news for today is that Drew's coming back now, and obviously he's going to be probably one of the favorites to win Play of the Year, alongside obviously the stacked team you're going to be part of. Just kind of take us through how you're feeling about that, like seeing a guy of his caliber come in now, along with all these other top guys. Like, how excited does it make you for this team?
It just makes me really excited. I know Drew, he's great. Especially when I was on my visit. He
Mhm.
was really the guy who I was really like watching. I went out to dinner with him, and he's just a great dude. So I'm excited to be around him, and I'm excited to play with him, and then I'm just excited to work with all the guys.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of gonna let fans get to know you a little bit better before we talk more about Gonzaga. So, obviously, as we know, you're from Nebraska. Might be the
Yeah.
heaviest basketball producing state out there, but you were able to make it out. Part of this new kind of era. We see some other guys making out too right now, but just kind of walk us through growing up out there in Nebraska.
Really, has never been known for like basketball.
Mhm.
Over the years, we've gotten a lot better, but like it's really like this 2021 class has really been the class with like the good basketball players with like me, Jaden Johnson, St. Thomas, Chucky Hepburn, like with all those players. So really, Nebraska hasn't really got love. So really, we've just been putting Nebraska on the map, and then also it's very small. It's kind of like Gonzaga, really. So
Mhm.
that's why I like it.
Now, that's not an easy thing because a lot of guys, if we see them come from a state that's not a heavy basketball producing place, they might transfer out, go to different states to kind of grow and go to a prep level. And you being the status that you are, I'm sure all the big schools reached out to you at some point. Like, what kept you home though? Like, why did you just decide to always stay in Nebraska and kind of be a part of this new rise?
Well, we had that OSA team was really we traveled on the Adidas Gauntlet, so playing on the Adidas circuit, and then I started just playing well. A lot of coaches started to take notice, and then everything just took off from there.
So let's go into that career. You obviously choose to go out and you obviously put together an incredible 4 year run there, but take us through why Iverson chose to go Millard North.
Um, Growing up, I always thought I'd go to a school named Central around here, but my parents just really wanted to send me to Millard North just because it's just different, and I'll be out my comfort zone, and then like which will cause me like just to adapt to the situation. So my parents always try to put me in tough situations just to see like how I react and like how different things will play out. So that's really why I chose Millard North.
So if someone would have told you heading into your high school career that down the road you're now going to become a five-star prospect, you're going to possibly go play for Team USA, you're going to get all these accolades, awards, you're going to be one of the top recruits in program history. Like, could you imagine that heading into your high school career?
Not at all. I wouldn't believe them. I wouldn't.
So when would you say this kind of started settling in? Like, when did you start feeling that you always became a top guy on the court and you were debatably even the best player in the entire country?
I say I really realized it my 16U year when I was we were in LA. And then like after like every game, it was like a dude who was all there was like different dudes just coming up taking pictures of me and then like posting me on different things. And then that's when I really realized like, okay, I'm starting to blow up a little bit. And then I started getting like a lot of little followers, and then my social media grew a lot. And then that's when I really realized it.
Now, over the course of your 4 year career out there in Millard North, you have added on a lot of talent throughout that time. You always start off with Max, and you guys kind of form that duo. Then Saint comes in, you start really forming that duo your sophomore year, and we saw what it turned into. You got in Jason, you got in Jaden. Like this list goes on of top guys you played with. Walk us through how all these guys kind of came together and how you kept kind of building this powerhouse now in Nebraska.
Um, Really was crazy. We've all like most of us all went to Miller North since a freshman, except for Jaden. Jaden transferred his junior year. But really we've all known each other since we've been young. And
Mhm.
once like we just all came to the same school, we just knew we'd have that chemistry already. And then that's really how things played out well. That's why we played so well with each other.
As you mentioned too, there's not too many top guys that come out of there. You know, Isaac's obviously up and coming. You see Donovan obviously went out to college last year. But when you do get to go up against a guy like Chucky, you go up against a guy like Donovan or Isaac, what are those competitions? What are those games like?
They were always very intense, very competitive, especially when I'm playing Chucky. It's going to be sold out. There's gonna be a lot of people competing on the floor, and then the games are always good. There's never going to be like a blowout game or anything like that. There's always going to be a good game.
So when did you and Chucky kind of form your bond? Just kind of grow up knowing each other? Did it happen in high school? Like when did you guys really get to know each other?
Me and Chucky played on the same AAU team in first grade, so that's when I really met him. And then we've just been knowing each other ever since then. And he's been a bucket since first grade. He's been a killer since first grade. So that's my guy.
Now you obviously got your state championship, but obviously adding Chucky into that would have made you guys even more scary. Was that ever something you guys talked about, like teaming up at the high school, maybe even college level? Like, did you guys ever discuss teaming up together?
We for sure talked about it with Wisconsin. Once he committed, he was recruiting me a lot. And then we talked about it with AAU too, but never really high school.
For sure. Well, discussing Zane a little bit, I think he's someone that's super underrated. I think he's in the late 100s, if not 200s, wherever they put him at. But obviously, he's going out to Loyola Chicago now. What are they getting in Saint?
What they're getting in Saint, they're getting a hard worker, somebody who just he loves to compete. He's a really competitor. And then, like, if you watch him play, he plays with a lot of energy and he can shoot it. So that's really what Saint brings to the table. He brings a lot of things. He can score in 3 different ways. He plays defense. He does a lot of good things.
Each year you've had a pretty big jump in overall your performances, but especially the team. This past year, you guys went to 27-2. You guys got the ultimate goal too of winning a state championship. So kind of discuss your development throughout your 4-year career and ultimately leading you now to the state championship.
Well, just me and my trainer. My trainer just always tells me, like, every day I have to be better than what I was the last day. So I just been sticking with that, and I've been working with him for like 4 years. And we've just been getting after it. And after each year, I've just seen improvement, and we've just been sticking with it and staying low and just keep pushing.
So this year's been difficult. We know COVID obviously put a lot of things at risk if it was going to happen or not. You guys didn't get the whole entire AU season. I think you guys got some little stuff here and there, but you got back on that court for high school. You got to walk us through this year now. You get your state championship, get that ring to walk away from high school with. Take us through this run.
It's just been a crazy run, especially starting off like my sophomore year. My freshman year, I didn't really even play that much varsity. I was on the team, and then I didn't really play that much. Then my sophomore year, I started, like averaged about like 18 points. That's really when I started like blowing up a little bit. And then my junior year, I had a great year. Became state runner-ups. And then my senior year, we just had a great year with each other. Everybody improved a lot. Saint, Jason, Tyler, Jaden, we all just improved. And I feel like that's key to why we won.
Absolutely. Well, let's head back a little bit in this recruiting process because you've now emerged as one of those top guys in the country. We know offers kept flying in where you practically had the decision to choose from any school you wanted to in the country. So walk us through this, though. As you kept pulling these offers over the past couple of years, how did you get used to it? How did you accept it? How did you handle the pressure? Like, take us through how you started handling all those offers and rankings and attention on you now.
Really with a lot of the things, I just handled it. I think I handled it well. I just stayed humble. And just kept doing the things that I was doing when I didn't have any of that, which was working. And it's really paid off. And then now I'm just doing the same. I'm doing the same thing now.
How would you do that? Because that's hard for a lot of guys. When all of a sudden you go from just being a general type of player to now having the spot on you, guys game planning for you, get all this attention. How do you stay locked in and stay humble?
It's not easy. It's really not. But I have a lot of great people around me, and they keep me locked in, and they keep me making sure that like, I'm level headed and I'm staying humble. And then they just always make sure that I'm still working. Normally they don't have to make sure I'm still working, but they just keep me locked in.
One other thing about you that's changed throughout high school has been your hair. We know you kind of had a signature hair look for a few years there, and then you got the haircut. Take us through that transition and why you decided it was time to get a new haircut.
I cut it really because it was just getting too long. I didn't really like it that long anymore. I know it's kind of getting a little trademark, but I just didn't like it. But I'm getting it back now. I'm getting it back. It's coming back.
Now, we do know, especially with Drew coming back, he's got his own signature stuff he's done over there. Obviously, I don't know what he's going to pull off his upcoming year, but just kind of having guys like in that atmosphere, you know, it's going to be fun, can embrace themselves. Like, how excited does that make you to be a part of that locker room?
That's what Coach Few like always told me. He was like, when you come here, you can always be yourself here. And that was really like one of the things that really pushed me there because he was like, you're going to be around a lot of guys like me. So that was really like what really pushed me to go to Gonzaga. But I feel like it'll be good being around guys like that. and being able to learn from them. And then also it'll be fun being around them.
So you ended up narrowing it down to a final 8. You had involved Kentucky in there, KU, Crane, UCLA, Iowa State, North Carolina, Oregon, obviously Gonzaga. So what went into those 8 schools? Like, why are those the schools you really locked in on for the stretch end there?
Well, really, like with a lot of the schools, I really couldn't go wrong. They were all great schools with like great coaches and great teams. But what really just pushed me to like Gonzaga was just the like the people, really. Like there's great people there. There's great coaches, and then like how much I'll learn from my visit. I learned a lot just from the visit. So that's really what it was.
We saw because of the pandemic that a lot of guys started committing pretty early. Almost about a year ago, guys were committing during the summer. You obviously waited until the very end. You decided to wait until March 26th, which was your birthday too. So what led to that? Like, were you ever felt like you wanted to rush a little bit earlier on? But what kind of led you to ultimately drag it out a little bit to the very end?
I really just wanted to see all the teams play. So my dad just wanted for me to wait till like after their season was done. So that's really what I did. I just waited, watched the teams, and then did a little analyzing, and then that's why I waited so long.
I can imagine that you kind of narrowed down a little bit from that top 8 within your family. What were some of the final schools in the running? Like, was there maybe a number 2 option if Gonzaga wasn't there for you? Maybe your top 2? Like, who was in that final push for you?
I really liked Creighton. I liked them a lot. I like Kentucky a lot, North Carolina. I really liked Oregon, Kansas. But I say like my top 4 was really Gonzaga, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Creighton.
So Creighton would have been interesting. We know they have an elite group. Ty, obviously, he originally was committed there. You guys could have been a 1-2 punch there. Was that something that was appealing to you? Was it once he decommitted, you just kind of looked at other options? Were you more appealed even to see that maybe it was a bigger role for you if Ty wasn't there? Like, how did that change over time?
I did know Ty went there, and it really was appealing for me to like being able to play with him because I played with him at the Iverson Classic and it was a blast. So that really was like what I looked at. But then like also I just looked at like who was returning, who was leaving, and just stuff like that, and I just didn't know. So that's really what it was.
So as I said, you did commit March 26th, which was your birthday. Was that the plan all along? Like, did you always kind of dream of committing on your birthday and hoped it lined up that way? Or did it just happen to fall into place? Like, how'd you be able to land it to where you commit on your birthday?
I didn't really plan on it really. Like, I decided to commit on my birthday around like, I'd say a month before, and I've like never really thought about doing it. It was just my dad was like, we need a date. And I was like, my birthday's coming up, let's do it then.
So how far from before that point did you know that you were going to Gonzaga? Was it a week or so? Was it a couple of days before? Like, when did you know Gonzaga is where you're going to be going?
It was really like a couple of days before. Yeah, it was soon. It was soon.
So when you called Coach Few and said, I'm going to become a Bulldog, I want to go join your team next year, what was his reaction? How'd you tell him?
I think actually my dad told him. I told Coach Lloyd, and they were just all excited. They were just all excited, telling me they were ready to work with me, and then I was just like, I'm ready to work. So that's really how it went.
Absolutely. Let's get into this team now because you're heading in there for what most likely will be the number 1 team in the country. You know, Chet's joined in with you now. He's going to be down low with Drew. You have yourself. You have Andrew. You have, I think, Dominic and Julian's going to be big time. Kaden, Ben, like this list goes on of talented guys. Nolan Hickman just commit there too. Like, how special is this team looking?
We're looking. I say we're looking scary. I know it's a lot of guys that can play. We have a lot of great guards. We have a lot of great bigs. So really now it's just about putting it all together, which I know we'll do. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now, last year's pretty hard to beat. Obviously, there's only one thing they didn't achieve. They went undefeated, all but one game, championship. Do you think you guys can get over that hump? Like, what will it take for you guys to get that over that hump and possibly have another undefeated year, but most importantly, get that ring on the end of the year?
As of right now, I really that's what I'm really going there to learn for. I'm going to listen to like Drew and them and Andrew Nimhard, and then I'm really just gonna go under their wing, listen to them, and then I'll know.
So the overall look at it, obviously Gonzaga is not really viewed as a quote unquote mid-major anymore. I mean, they theoretically are, but we know they're much more talented than that. But like just obviously Coach Few is an incredible coach. What he's built out there is incredible for where he's at and everything he's done there. But what's his personality like? Like just getting to talk to him on the phone through Zooms. Like what's Coach Few's personality like?
Coach Few wasn't one of those coaches who would like call me all the time, which is really what I liked. I like you can ask any of them. I hate being on the phone, but Coach Few, he's really like a laid back kind of guy. That was really Coach Lloyd. Coach Lloyd was really the one who was always like upbeat on it. But yeah, Coach Few, he's real laid back, chill. We talked every now and then, but it was never like we were talking like every day. But whenever we talked, he made sure I got the point and he got his point across.
So what does he want from you? You obviously going to a team that's ready to win right now. What does he expect from Hunter Sallis in your freshman year?
Well, my freshman year, he's just been telling me he wants me to just come get buckets, and that's really what I'm coming to do. I'm coming to get buckets, and I'm coming to work, and then also just improve a lot. Whether if that's just like on the court, off the court, either or.
Now, there are some things that we do know behind you. Yes, obviously, you're going to be an NBA prospect. You're a top 10 player in the country. That's hard for some guys to balance. Obviously, you want to focus in on your career, especially at Gonzaga for you. But at the same time, like you want to make the NBA. That's your ultimate goal down the road. So how do you plan to balance those two mindsets?
Really just if I know if I just play within like Gonzaga's system, I didn't have that goal to be accomplished. So that's really what one of them told me. So that's what I know.
So we do know you've been rocking out number 5. Is that the same number you plan to wear at Gonzaga, or are you switching that up?
I'm wearing number 10. Yep.
So take us through that decision. Like, what's it about number 10, and why do you want to rock out with number 10?
Well, I wanted to wear number 5, but it's taken. Yeah, it's taken. So number 10, really, I just did 5 twice 10. So.
So what's the meaning behind 5? Is there a different meaning behind that? You just always wear that your whole life? Like, what's significant about 5 to you?
Well, I always grew up wearing like 23 or like 24. So 5 is really the first number that I picked, and I just stuck with it. Ever since then, I just kept it.
So this class is ranked number 2. I think if you would include Ben Stone there, he obviously reclassed midseason. I think you guys would have been number 1. But how did this whole group come together? Like, were you aware of Chet coming in later on? Did you have any idea about Nolan possibly coming to Gonzaga down the road? Did you guys all kind of just meet each other after you guys commit? Like, how did this whole class come together?
I've been talking to Chet about it for a while. Me and Chet have been talking about it, but Nolan, I had no idea. When we were at the Iverson Classic, though, I talked to him about it a little bit, trying to convince him. But for sure, I didn't really have an idea. But I'm happy to play with all of them, really, for sure.
You obviously commit before Chet did. So when you did commit, did you have a pretty good understanding that he probably was going to come to Gonzaga? Were you shocked at all when he did commit? Like, when did you have a good feeling he was going to join you there?
I had a good thought he would come. I wasn't 100% sure, but I just thought he would, and because we were just talking prior to it. But yeah, that was really it.
Absolutely, man. Well, a couple more things before I let you go. One of which is we do know you're going to get on campus a little bit later than some of the guys, and that's because you have the opportunity to possibly make Team USA U19, which obviously would be a huge honor to be a part of. So take us through this. Like, how are you approaching that? What do you want to gain from it? And just how excited are you to get out there and be a part of that?
Really, I'm just going down there and really just trying to show what I can do, and then also showing like how I can play within a team system, play within a team concept, and then also I'm really going down there to learn because I'm going to be surrounded around a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players, and then I feel like it's a great opportunity to learn from it.
So Team USA has been something that all guys dream about, and you had a chance to be part of minicamp back in 2019. So walk us through that a little bit. Like, you got to go up against guys like Jalen Green and all the top guys in the older classes than you. What was that experience like?
I think the experience was great. It was really like my first camp that I was able to go to, like with a lot of great players, and I feel like I did good. And it was a lot of great games and a lot of great people down there. So it was another great opportunity to learn from.
Who was the guy you were most shocked by? Like, when you got to that camp and you're practicing, scrimmaging, playing with some of the top guys in the country, like what guy shocked you the most that maybe you weren't aware of, or just guy that you truly were like, wow, this guy's legit?
I say probably I say Chet, really, because I was on his team. And Chet, he was crazy. He was crazy. So yeah, I'd say Chet.
So then you guys' bond has kind of gone back for a couple of years then?
Yeah. Yep.
For sure. So you're also just a part of the Iverson Classic. You would have been a part of McDonald's All-American game if they would have hosted that as well and all these other games. But just going to Iverson Classic, what was that like?
The Iverson Classic, it was good. I say it was good. There was a lot of great players. Once again, it was just like kind of like the USA camp. It's really with a lot of great players and just a lot of great guys getting after it. So I say it was good.
So you look at the whole 2021 class, it could be someone that was maybe later on ranked in the 30s or something, but who would you say is the most underrated or the most guy that's not probably doesn't have the most attention on right now that's going to become a star in college that you're aware of?
Being honest, I really think Saint will have a great college career. I think he will, just because how I seen Loyola play and he fits perfect with him. So I think he'll have a great college career.
Absolutely, man. Well, see, now you look at your entire high school career, everything you've accomplished and achieved. What would you say is the biggest thing and the thing that's most memorable to you?
By far winning the state championship. That was one thing that I really wanted to do before even thinking of being a 5-star recruit. So that was really the biggest thing that I really wanted to do before I left high school, and I finally did it. So I say that.
Absolutely, man. Well, something I was like wrapped up discussing is building a legacy for yourself. I know that all guys want to establish that for them. So when you are done playing basketball down the road, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I say just being a great person, really. Just being a great person.
So would you say there's like a play you could compare yourself to, or maybe a guy you take pieces from? Like, who is that guy you'd say, if there's someone you can kind of compare yourself to, who would that player be?
I for sure watch Brad Bill a lot. I watch Jason Tatum a lot, and then I try to take little pieces from their game.
No doubt. And being a believer, kind of discuss your faith a little bit. How has God helped get you to the point you're at today?
For sure, he's helped me. He's been by my side through it all. Really just me just being like where I was before, and just me staying just having faith in that. I feel like that's really what's got me here. That's what's kept me going through it all.
So what would you say would be the biggest time that you look back that you've seen God help you in your life? Like, is there one moment specifically that you've really seen God show up in your life so far?
There's for sure a whole bunch of days where I thought it just like giving up for sure. And there's just been that little spark that just hit me to be like, I can't. And I feel like that's for sure God. That's for sure God telling me to keep pushing, because what's at the end of the road is much bigger than that speed bump now. So for sure.
Absolutely, man. My final thing for you, give Gonzaga fans your 3 biggest goals you have set for your Gonzaga career.
A national championship, conference championship, and undefeated season for sure.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations on the big move again. Best luck with whatever you ever get done out there at Team USA, and appreciate taking time to come on today, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, for sure.
Of course. Always welcome on, man. God bless.
God bless.